Were you in uniform at the time? Now, this most certainly is going to set the context for the matter. More specifically, was the officer perceived to be a person in authority? And this is very important when it comes down to a number of different considerations in the course of the officer's investigation, and maybe even getting admissions of guilt and charging the officer. Because as you can see on the third point here, it sets the framework for evidentiary considerations, more specifically admissions of guilt, because a voir dire will be required if the officer was in uniform and perceived to be a person in authority, if what we're dealing with here had anything to do with a charge being laid in correlation with an admission. And as I advance the slide, this has to do with the test for admissibility, for voluntariness. When it comes down to admissions, this is a matter of R.V. Oikel. So if the admission is made to a person in authority, the Crown must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the statement was made voluntarily. So this is taken out of the precedent case, which I talk about in my hearsay seminar for any of you who attended that, the matter of R.V. Oikel. So very simply, it's a 4-caveat test. There cannot be any threats or promises, no oppression. The defendant had an operating mind, that was no police trickery. So again, if an admission was made to a person in uniform, that person is perceived to be an authority, and we have to make sure none of these 4 caveats are there. But that being said, if the officer was not perceived to be a person in authority, i.e. plainclothes, the defendant had no idea this person was a quote-unquote agent of the state, we don't have to go down the realm of the voir dire. That statement we presume to be, of course, admissible without a voir dire, or voluntary, so to speak.